Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be looking at how to take this winter scene and turning that into something that we can use for a Christmas card. You can paint this along with me. I have shared this reference photo over on Patreon, and that is free for you to go and get that over there. We're going to be changing some things up. So hopefully in a moment I will see that you guys can hear me and everything is working. It looks like it's working on my end, but we will see. Okay. Hi, Kimmy B. Hi, Boo Peep. Hi, George Pencil Art. All right. I was a little nervous about this one because this is a big project to take on in the 2 hours, but hopefully we're going to make it work. It's going to happen. So let's talk about how I'm going to change this up so that it looks like a Christmas card. Thank you, Tara. All right. One of the things that I'm going to do is decorate for Christmas. Right now, this is just a cabin in the woods, right? And it's snowy. It looks like it's snowing. But it doesn't look very festive. They're not ready for the holiday season. People aren't arriving in a couple weeks for Thanksgiving here or to celebrate, or, do you decorate with Christmas type decorations before Thanksgiving? We do not. Usually Thanksgiving weekend, once Thanksgiving is all done, then that weekend is when we usually decorate. usually that's Sunday. So yeah, you'll have to let me know in the comments. When do you decorate? When maybe you already have your tree up. That's not unheard of. Okay. If you celebrate Christmas. So assuming that you celebrate Christmas. All right. So Wildflower says, makes me think of hot cocoa and throwing snowballs. Oh, I wonder if I have the emotes for all of our channel members. I wonder if somebody will have to check and see. I should have thought to put them in there. I will put them back if they're not there, so that you can have like snowball fights in the chats. Because that season's coming. We actually have a winter weather advisory here at my location in Maine for tomorrow morning. So will it snow? I don't know. If you are a channel member or a patron and you're on Discord, I will definitely be sharing pictures when we do finally get our first snow. All right, so let's jump back to this because there's a lot of work to do here. We need to decorate this so that it looks like it could be a Christmas card. Today, I'm going to be painting it on my Meeden cold pressed watercolor paper. This is the 7 by 5 inch block. It is 100% cotton, and they're not there. Okay, thank you, Tara. I'm going to add those back. So, winter is coming. We need to be able to have our little snowball fights going on in chat that you guys enjoy. All right, so I printed the reference photo twice. This one was a little bit smaller. I printed it to fit my 5 by 7 size. And this just wants to curl up right now. Let me just set this here. Then I went in on my page and I just took a fine liner and I drew on a Christmas wreath. We're going to hang a Christmas wreath up. I thought it would look good right up there outside under that eave, right in the center of that big window. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a Christmas wreath there. If this was like a log cabin that had like a wall of windows here, I would want to paint the Christmas tree in there, but it's not. So we're just going to put a wreath out here, and we're going to do some green garland kind of hanging from the rails on the deck and some little red bows in there. And maybe we will put some lights in our little tree that's right here. Like they have this decorated for the holidays. That's what we're going to do to turn this into a Christmas scene that you could paint on a Christmas card. Now, again, I said I am painting on the Meeden 100% cotton watercolor paper. This is a block. However, you could paint this directly onto like a watercolor card. These, and I have linked them below. I get these. They're 100% cotton. They come with the envelope and the cards. I buy them packs of 50 or 100 at a time. They're very reasonably priced and the quality is decent. We painted a card with these last week. Of course, I can't show you that card because I actually used that card as like a thank you card, the one we painted last week, and I sent that off. I thought I had my other one. Oh, I put it back. It's right there. I have another one that I painted on those, and I use that anytime I'm painting a card. You're going to see it. We will have some Christmas card videos coming here soon. And that's what you'll see me using. So I definitely recommend them. Again, they're linked in the description below, as is the paper. And again, this week, I'm using the Meeden, the new 96 color set of watercolors. And in addition, I'm going to use some Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White today. And that is because when I add some of this snow, I may add this back, after the fact when we paint this stuff on. So I'm going to want the opacity, and I'm going to be mixing it. I'm going to be mixing it with some of my color. So, because I don't want, like, what we're seeing here is not stark white. It's not this white. So I'm going to be toning this down with some of the watercolors. And that is an easy way. It's like gouache. You could use gouache. That would be perfectly fine. If you don't have this, but you have gouache, you can absolutely use that. And then of course I'm going to use this to put the snow, because it's going to be snowing. In addition to those, and this is all linked below, I am also going to grab my little sheet with my colors is sliding. I am also going to grab my Wink of Stella brush 2. This is the clear. It adds the most beautiful sparkle and shimmer. I love using this when I make Christmas cards. So I'm going to show that to you, and I'm probably going to use it where we have some of our highlights, just to make that snow kind of glisten and sparkle with the lights from the cabin. Another thing that I'm going to change or alter in this photo, you see here, the sky is lit up. I don't know what's back there beyond those trees that's lighting up the sky. Maybe that's coming from the moon. Maybe there's a city back there that's lighting up the sky. But you know what? I don't want that. I want just the light from my cabin to kind of illuminate my foreground here and really bring the focus right here. So you're going to see that I'm going to change this up. It's actually going to make it go faster and be a little easier. We're going to paint this background sky all with this blue. It's also going to make it feel like it's nighttime, it's winter, the snow is falling, and yeah, that's how we're going to do that. And I think it will just paint a lot faster. It makes it a lot more beginner friendly, because you don't have to worry about trying to transition from like a yellow into a blue and not end up with a green sky. So we can do that pretty quickly. And we are going to paint our sky and these background trees in as quickly as I can, because again, this is a big project and I really want to be done with it today. So here we go. Once I printed this out and I had my lines, my additions put on here for what I want to paint, I grabbed again my Derwent extra large graphite block, and this is the 06, the Onyx Dark. That is the one that I usually use. And I put that on the back, right? I put that on the back of my printout. And once I put that all on there, I just took a tissue and I rubbed that. The reason I do that is because it takes care of any dust. So any graphite dust that's sitting there, this will kind of rub that into the tooth of your paper, like your printer paper, and keep it from dropping a bunch of dust on your paper. So now I can come back over and and you can see my graphite lines. I went over the areas just very roughly, like just a basic tree shape. where I wanted to make sure that I had some trees in my background. And then of course I did, like, I lined around where my snow was. Everyone is different. The amount of lines I might need to convey something onto my paper could be more or less than the lines that you need. So you can print that off and just use whatever lines, or as many or few that you need. Maybe you just need the outline of where the cabin is, and a basic, like, where a couple of these trees are. I don't know. But whatever, you can do that to meet your needs. The reason that I use the Derwent, the graphite extra large block, I'm going to remove this now because my image has been transferred. So if you're going to paint along, or if you're watching and then painting along later, that is our first step. So now I'm going to set this aside. And of course, if I touch that anywhere, I could do another one of these with this, and transfer the image, and it would still transfer. Setting that aside. And this is the one that I will use to look at. It is a little bit smaller, but that's fine. I'm just going to be looking at it basically for, like, when I do this, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not going for photo realistic. I'm going for photo similar. So I don't mind if my cabin is slightly different. I don't mind if if the snow landed on my trees differently. It's okay. So that's just going to be for me to kind of look at, and I'm setting it off on my desk over here. I did not put the reference photo. I don't think, in any of the scenes today. So I don't have that up there. Excuse me. But if you need to see it, just ask if you're here watching with us live. One of the benefits of watching this live and painting along live is you don't have to deal with commercials, right? Those only happen after the stream on replays. So another benefit for joining us live. And I'm going to be doing something crazy today before the stream is over. So you're going to want to stay with me because let's just say the Wheel of Names are involved. So if you know, you know. It's coming. It's gonna be a good one. So do stick around. It's the holiday season. I think we've officially kicked off. I don't know about you guys, but I've officially kicked off my shopping. And so we're going to, in the spirit of giving, there's something coming. All right. Now, here we go. I just have a little bit of, there's like a little bit of graphite. I don't even know if you guys can see it. That is like smudged up here, like in my sky. I don't really need to worry about taking that off. You can take a kneaded eraser and it lifts right up like it was never there. If you guys can see this, there's a speck like right here. It comes off that easy. Carbon paper does not come off that easy. So however you transfer your images, if you're looking for something for watercolor that will erase cleanly, and then not come up through the watercolor, I've never had a problem with this making my watercolor muddy, or it has never been a problem for me. This is just the way that I do it. I could lighten some of this up, but I really don't think I'm going to worry about it. I'm going to leave it like this so that you guys, you can see that a bit better. So we're just going to kind of leave it that way. Boo Peep says, love the photo similar concept. It's freeing. It is. It absolutely is, because honestly, when you create a painting, when you show that painting to somebody, we all use reference photos. But unless I sit here and say, how do you like my painting that I created? This is what I was working with. You don't do that. You say, See what I painted today? Right? Or you share it on Instagram or you share it wherever. Here's my painting. I don't go, here's my painting I did from this reference photo. No, I don't do that. So guess what? Photos similar is all you need. You don't have to be hyper realistic. It doesn't have to look identical to your photo. You're an artist. You have an artistic license. And if you don't, you can apply for one. You can get it. They're really, really, really cheap. And yeah, you have that choice. So there you go. All right. Oh, hi, Andrea. Welcome. I'm so glad that you could be here. Oh, one other announcement. If you missed it, right down here on the bottom of the screen, you can now gift a Patreon membership. So if there is someone in your life that you think, you know what, that would make a great gift for Christmas, you can gift a Patreon membership. And you can go to the link right there, patreon.com/clarkfineart/gift. And you can select up to a year's worth of membership to gift to anyone of your choosing. So I have made that available. You can find that on my Patreon. And the other thing that we have available is I don't think I have one here, but I have just made the adventure series available to purchase as individual lessons. So my adventure series, I was releasing only to patrons. Patrons will still receive them first, and then a week later, they will become available to purchase as an individual lesson. So if that is something that you would like to do, they are on my Patreon. You just go to my Patreon shop and you will see them all the ones that are currently out are available there. I have some of them set at 50% off right now because I've just launched that. So some of them are 50% off, but you can choose whichever one you want and then you'll have access to just that lesson. So if a recurring membership isn't necessarily doesn't fit your needs, then perhaps you might like to just do an individual lesson. Like my sea turtle's on there. Okay, Boo Peep says, thank you for leaving it darker. You're welcome. All right, we're going to start with our sky. And again, I'm using the medium watercolors. This was left over from last week. And I think we're just going to grab my little spray bottle here. I'm just going to mist this and kind of wake up my palette. I don't know what I'll be using from last week that was left on there, but this blue, we could. I don't even remember what that was. We're going to use, let me see. How does this medium blue look? Ooh, that's very much phthalo. I don't know. I think we're going to go. That was our indigo, right? I think that was our indigo. Those of you who were here last week are probably like telling me, if only I could hear you. Indigo plus black. That's what we used. That's what we're going with. All right. I don't care if that little bit of phthalo gets in there. So I'm going to grab some of this indigo. I did email and I sent another email because I hadn't heard back from my rep, the rep that I had at Meeden, which is very unlike Meeden. Usually I hear back very quickly. So I don't know if maybe that person's not there anymore or what have you, but I emailed them again to ask, is there any pigment information or light fast information about these paints? Like I said last week, I think that we can go with the assumption this is student grade paint. I still believe that. The pigmentation is great. I haven't done a swatch of them yet. I want to do that. I want to do that in a regular standalone video because you don't need to sit here and watch me swatch 96 colors during the live stream. If it was like 24 or even just the 48, maybe, but 26, I mean, excuse me, 96, no, we're not going to do that. So that will be coming, and I'll probably swatch them and do an overall review, encompassing like the few things that I painted with them and stuff like that, and tell you, my final thoughts and opinions on these paints. Painting this today, I think, is really going to help me come up with some more opinions. I'm really I'm really curious to see how I can make my snow come out, because I know how I can make this work with my favorite paints. When you're using new paint to do anything, there's little quirks and kinks that you might have to work out. So we'll see how it goes. All right, my chat stopped scrolling for a moment. Hi, Cadmium Red Feral Kitten. Oh, Dolphin Soul says everyone needs to do the sea turtle lesson. If you remind me, I'm trying to think where I think I have them in a box, which should be very nearby. But remind me if we have time before the stream's over. I will grab that painting and show everybody. And you don't have to paint it as small as I did. You can paint it larger. Oh, that is great. W and Castle has me on the TV. Hopefully it's not too big of a screen. How big are we today, Castle? All right. So to start with, we need to dive right in here. I'm going to wet my background. Now, again, I mentioned this is water soluble, this graphite. So when I get in here, I could lose these lines of where my trees are. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of be careful of that, because I do want to keep where those are, because it will help me be able to paint this faster. And we're going to get lighter as we get into this space. So I'm just I'm not really brushing too hard over that. I'm going to put my water down up here. Right. But when it comes to where these trees are, I'm being very careful not to brush too much over that space so that I can keep those lines. And especially in this part of the sky, if I get some of that graphite mixing in and it grays it out a little bit, it's not a problem, because we're doing a winter sky. But you'll be able to see down through here. This is going to be very, like a very pale yellow from the lights illuminating this snow. So you'll be able to see it doesn't really have too much of an impact on my overall colors when I use this. Okay. So I've wet my sky down into the initial part of my tree line. So I'm wet about to there. And we're going to start laying this in. All right. Dolphin Soul has it on a 56-inch TV. Like when I watch YouTube, usually I'm watching downstairs, and when I'm sitting in my living room, and I mean, that's putting them on a 75-inch TV. So I get my videos pretty big. All right, and I just reached in. So up here was where I had more black. I just reached down here where I had less black. And in a moment, I'm going to rinse out my brush. Well, maybe not, because this is getting lighter. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring it down. Again, I'm not trying to scrub too hard or brush too hard over where my trees are going to be. I'm just pulling some of this color down into this space. Right, and I want it to get a little lighter as it meets my trees, because I want my trees to show up a little bit more. I'm going to tip this and let some of this color move downward. I want to get smoother transition. Now this is where I know, like, my favorite paints, if I was using my Daniel Smith paints, I would get a very smooth transition from this space into this space. So this is really a test. Painting things that I know give me results, like certain results, with my quality professional watercolors. Then coming in and trying to achieve the same kind of results, doing the same type of thing with paints like this, really helped me be able to determine, do I think these are decent or not? Now remember, when watercolor dries, you get you definitely get a drying shift. Your colors are going to get lighter. So this will lighten up. Again, I'm just going to kind of bring this down into the space a little bit. And I've already, like, I can barely see where my trees were. So you'll probably see me looking towards my reference photo. And I could dry it, come back and go over those lines again if I wanted to, so that I had a little bit of the like shimmer from that graphite to see. I'm not going to worry too much about a perfect smooth wash with this. You see, when I pulled and it lifted the color off, it tells me I'm fiddling too long. I need to stop and let it be. Because all I'm doing now is lifting. I'm lifting paint. I'm not applying. But I think that's fine. So there is our sky. So now, down here, it's lighter. I need those trees to be a little darker than that if they're going to show up. So you see here, and this sky is a little bit warmer than what I've painted here. I've painted this a little bit cooler, but you know what? Snow, it's cold. I went with a cooler blue, and I think that's fine. This, like, I could have used ultramarine blue. It probably, with a little bit of the black, and it would have been just fine if you wanted it to stay a little bit more cooler like this is. There we go. So we are going to let this dry for now. And Dolphin Soul says, high def theater realness at that size. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to just take a damp brush, just in case this wants to come through. And doing this too, immediately I'm see the I don't know if you guys can see it. Immediately I'm pushing a bloom into that, so I'm not going to continue with that. I'm going to really dry my brush, and we're going to fix that. And just let it be. I'm going to paint trees in that area, so it'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. All right. Let's see. I need to dry this because I want to come back. I don't want it completely dry, but because I want my trees to be soft. But I think if I started painting them in right now, this would still be, I know, especially over here, I'll have to start on this side. It would be too wet. They would spread too much, but let's mix up our color and give them a moment. I'm grabbing my size 6 long round. So today I had my size 10 round. I have a 6 long round. Size 6 would do just fine. And then I have a 4 long round. You could use a regular 4 or like a size 2. And this is going to be for when I'm doing my details, like on my windows and stuff here on my cabin. So that's what that's going to be. I need to mix up some more. I'm going to grab that indigo again. I think I'm going to grab a little bit of the ultramarine. I'm going to bring that in. Well, they have dark blue. Wonder if they're dark blue. That's not bad either. We'll just grab the dark blue. The dark blue looks darker than their indigo, so I'm grabbing the dark blue. It's really quite neutral. It doesn't lean real cool like a phthalo blue, and yet it's not leaning really red like ultramarine would. And you can see that like when I do, I'm guessing this is like their ultramarine. See how cool, not ultramarine, excuse me. I'm guessing that's like phthalo blue. See how really cool that is? And then if we look at the ultramarine, see, that's much warmer. It's actually looking almost like purple in comparison to these and this. This is pretty neutral. So we're just gonna go with that. That's the dark blue if you're using this particular set to paint along. And then I want, again, a little bit of black mixed into that. All right, that's pretty much right about there. I probably don't have enough, but about there. That's going to be for my trees in the background. Dark blue. Some black. Mix those two up. And I'm going to add some water. Thin this down just a bit, because our trees that are further back, we're going to want those to be a little bit lighter. I'm just going to tap some of that excess water out of my brush. Okay. These, Andrea asked, great question. Andrea asked, what am I using? It looks like it has a very nice point. These are the Princeton Velvet Touch. If you like a snappy brush, let me grab the one that's not full of paint. This isn't wet yet. This is my size 4 long round. And these, that's not wet. Let me wet it. These have a great snap to them. They come right back. And they hold their points. They hold their points really well. This is my size 10 round, and even that 10 round, look at the point on that one. I definitely recommend these brushes if you like a brush that's got a bit of snap to it. Okay, let's get some of these trees in the background. So again, my poor lines. I was like, it's so good to put all my lines in there. So don't worry. Like I said, photo similar, right? Oh, I'm just going to pop a tree in here. Now, as these trees work their way down, we have a line here that comes across. This color is going to kind of blend all into this space. I'm going to go ahead and take this color and I'm going to paint it. Let's get this wet, because my trees are going to kind of, I know I just kind of jumped around, but my trees are going to fade into this color. I want my paper wet. So I'm going to go ahead and I just grabbed a lot of water with my brush. I want to really wet this area. Again, remember our paint will dry lighter. Probably could use my larger brush, but I'm going to do some painting around some of these trees. I'm just going to grab my size 10 round and I'm going to get this area wet. just so that I don't end up with a hard line up here. That's why I did that. I'm going to negatively paint around this little tree that I want here. Remember, up here's wet. I just don't want a hard line there. I'm gonna do some negative painting around this tree. I apologize. I know I'm not talking, and it is because I am trying to paint this as quickly as I can. Just keep bringing that up to meet that wet area. And that tree is taller. That tree is going to come all the way up here. And this is going to come around and get into where we have a much darker tree over here. So I don't have to worry too much coming down into this space. But I'm going to carry it all the way over. And just kind of doing some negative painting to create the outline of where that tree is. Bringing it right up into that wet spot on the paper. Just, it's damp. Make sure that stays wet. All right, we are gonna bring this. It's drying quickly. I have another little tree right here, and I'm just paint around that one. Just let that paint kind of dance around its edges. Yeah, and we're going to put a dark tree here, so I'm not as worried about this space. I may end up being able to use some of this lighter spot to be highlights, or the snow on the tree, because it's going to be that much darker in that area. I was seeing a little bit of bloom happening there, so I'm bringing this wet paint all the way back down to the bottom of that area and back up to try to avoid that. Okay, that's this side. Let's get these trees painted. I can pick it back up over here when I get there. We're going to keep putting them in up here. So now again, I don't know about that, but I do try. Wildflower said I am the queen of paint. All right, so again, I'm just getting this area damp. See, this is already dry. I don't think my treetops are going to disperse very much. I'm going to take my fine mister. If I ended up getting a few water spots there from that mist, it would be fine. It's just going to end up looking like snow. So I'm not worried about it causing something going on in my sky. It's not a big deal. All right. So some of my lines are kind of disappeared. We're going to just bring down some trees. And they're just going to be what they are. And by putting that mist on my paper, as I do these trees up here, anything that touches where that mist is, it'll get a softer edge. Now these trees are like tall, slender trees. You see where this is where it's much wetter, so it's kind of diffusing out a lot more there. It's fine. We're not worried about it. This is drying very weirdly. So I've just rinsed my brush. I've got my, let me bring it where you can see it. I've got my sponge here. When I need to control my water, I will dry that off. You see where we have this line here? I don't want a hard line there. I want it to just kind of soften and diffuse right into that area we painted down there. So very clean brush, very much wiped off on my sponge, and then you can just kind of make those blend in. All right, my fine mister here. This top part wasn't quite enough to get these soft. And I knew that because this was staying very defined, where down here was getting very much diffused into it. Okay. Again, I'm just kind of looking at this scene here and putting in some trees. If I don't get these all just right, I am not worried about it. Some are going to be lighter. See, I barely have any on my brush right now, and that paints a nice light tree back there. Right now, you see I'm just kind of focusing on the tops. And really, I'm just dabbing a point and just kind of wiggling my brush a little bit side to side. I'm going to put a bigger tree right there. And I will work that side after. I just put just the very tip of my brush in my water. And this one was darker, so I started here first because that's going to work out some of that paint out of my brush. Then I can work to some that are darker. Once that paint's almost gone, I can come back and grab some of these that are lighter. Bring that right to my roof line. This paint is already dry. More water. A little bit more paint this time. I want a little more paint, less water. So that I can come back and get some of these darker ones that are going to be in the foreground. Like this guy? This paper's still very wet. So you see, I just barely tap. That's going to start spreading. It's going to paint that tree for me all on its own. I'm not going to go as far as I want the tree to be because it's going to spread on further than where I put it. So I'm being a little conservative with where I place this. And then again, you see I have this darker area meeting that lighter one. I don't want a line there. So I'm going to clean out my brush. Hi, Dylan. Clean that off. Really dry that on my brush or on my sponge. And I'm just going to come in, touch that bottom area. We're just going to soften that and bring it down. And we lose that edge. I'm going to do it again. I want this top part of my tree to be lighter. So I'm going to put that on. I'm going to take a piece of tissue, touch it and lift it off. Now that's lighter. And I can work my way down. Get a little darker as I go. Again, this is our background, right? Sometimes we spend so much time on our background, and this is going to disappear into the background as we go. So we fuss about it sometimes so much. Really don't overthink it. We're just, again, really drying off my brush. And just kind of touching that edge. So we can just let that kind of get lost into the darkness back there behind our cabin. And I'm looking, they don't have to be exactly where they are here. Definitely don't have to worry about that. I'm going to start a little lower than I want for this one because I want to work out some of this darker paint. Another one about here. Already I feel like I need to hit this with another mist because my trees aren't diffusing. I love the little fine misters. A lot of times I'm not seeing one. I have little tiny skinny ones. I'm not seeing one right here on my desk. Usually there's always 2 or 3 on my desk here. They're probably downstairs in my other area or in my bag. But they put out a nice fine mist just like this one does. I'm bringing that right to my roof line. Just kind of let that mix. Dolphin Soul is teasing Tara. Trees are not Tara's jam. And that's okay. Because if you haven't checked out Tara, our moderator, you haven't checked out her channel, you definitely should. Her most recent video, she did a portrait, which I have to tell you, that is not my jam. And she is amazing at some portrait work. So definitely check that out. Our other moderator, Art of Joseph Fincham, who may not be here today. He has some stuff going on. But he also has a channel here, and he streams every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Time. Chris, it says, or my jam, but I will get better. What is not your jam? Trees or portraits? I think I need another one that's a little darker here. You see, I'm just kind of filling that space in. We want to see the treetops, but we just want this to, if you look at that reference photo, the trees just kind of, everything just kind of blends and starts to disappear. So all kind of merges together. And I like that look, so that's kind of what I'm going for. Again, just kind of blending it so all just, that edge gets lost. I think that part, we mostly have that done. Let's get our bigger tree in over here. Yeah, I'm not, I just don't, I don't find joy in painting portraits of people. I would be an artistic surgeon. You would get a nose job. You know, you probably would not like it. So yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. All right, we're gonna do some negative painting on this one as we get down. This is one of our bigger trees. So let's just go ahead. It's also closer to us. I'm not worried about it being darker. See, I'm just kind of letting my brush like dance around the page. I don't have a spot right here filled in yet. I'm gonna have to come back and add. I should have done one more tree there before I went for this big one, but that's all right. We'll just paint it in the round. See, and Tara, that's how I feel about trees. I'm like, trees are so easy. I love trees. And Tara's like, I'm not painting a tree. But she would happily paint a person. Which is something I love. I love that as artists, like we all have things that we gravitate towards. Mixing up some more, that's that what they are calling dark blue. Almost looks like it could be a phthalo blue red shade. If you're trying to grab paints at home that might be of equivalent in color to this. And then of course mixing that in with the black. That's not a heavily granulating black, maybe like a PBK9. Again, I don't have any pigment information for these paints or Lightfast information, so that's why this so far is turning out to be like maybe my card painting set of watercolors. That is definitely a bit darker, so I'm just going to grab some water. I just dipped my brush, all my bristles into the water, brought it out, and came over here to mix it up. And now when I come back, still a dark color, but there's a lot of water on my brush right now. Let me rinse that out. If it's too dark, like don't worry. Piece of tissue, rub that over it, lift it up, and now it's perfect. I just picked up a lot of water again with that paint. Let's see if we can learn this lesson. Drying it off of my brush, now picking it up. I'm gonna want some of this to be darker anyway, so. What I realized I didn't put in this mix that I had in the mix before was just a touch of ultramarine. Not a big deal. Ultramarine is right here. And there we go. Let me bring you, let's get bigger. Let's go bigger. How's that? Bring that touch of ultramarine into there too. There we go. And let's keep going. See, I figured I could get half being the background half of this done within the first part of the stream. Yeah, we're gonna be running. It's close. It's close. I'm gonna have to pick up the pace here. Okay, I need to let that dry because I want to come back in with some darker values down in here because I know that's going to dry a little lighter than I want. I also need to put another tree in back here because I have kind of like a white spot. I'll get back to that one. All right. While I have this, my darker color, I'm going to have darker trees right here on this edge. And actually, I think I want this even darker than it is for that. That was just more of my black and ultramarine. Nope, I'm not showing the moon. It is snowing. We're not seeing the moon in this one. Dealin said she thought that was the moon, which it could. I mean, that looks great if it was. But no. Not the moon. So here, right, I'm just, this one goes right to my edge. So I could actually even come right down again and natively paint around part of this. I have a tree right here. And actually, while I have this really dark on my brush, let's see if we can't go ahead. I don't know how this is going to turn out. This might be a hot mess, but that's okay. I'm going to paint right up this side to come back into finishing that tree. I am just putting this tree that's in the background. Has some really dark values. And I put so many lines that I'm finding myself lost. So what's gonna start off looking like little black squiggles is hopefully gonna finish looking like a tree. Basically what you're seeing me doing is just negatively painting around the branches where the snow is going to be sitting. And that's going to come into play with this tree here as well. So you have to forgive me as I go quiet, trying to concentrate on this space. Negative painting is still something like negatively painting to achieve the shape of what you're doing. Yeah, that's something that still is a work in progress for me personally. Like to paint all the dark spaces and then leave the light spaces. It's definitely still a work in progress. And now we have our darker spot like here where our trees will kind of blend into, at least on this part. And I just want to kind of get around where this tree and kind of stick into that space. I didn't really need to go all the way up. I really did not. That was an oops. I got carried away. That's okay. It's okay. We just clean the brush out. Really dry it off on that sponge well. And I'm just going to take this space, just kind of blend some of that out. And if I need to, I'll make a tree live in there. It's fine. Okay. Already drying so fast. Gosh, this paint's dry quickly. Let's get back to putting in a tree. And another one right here. Bringing that all the way down so it just kind of gets lost in there somewhere. There we go. Look, now we have another tree. One of our foreground trees already painted. Okay. We got to get some that are a little lighter. Let's re-wet this lighter value here. I'm going to touch a little extra water out of my brush. Let's get this area misted so that these will be soft. There we go. Further away. Another one here further away. That spot that I really didn't want that paint to go to, we're just going to pop a tree right there. All better. Okay, now I just need to bring my background trees over to this spot. Yeah, Joseph's dad has not been doing well. Our thoughts are with him. Hopefully things are improving. And now I'm negatively painting on this side of the tree. And this, I just missed it, so this area is damp, so I'm not going to get too close to that space. I can always come back and take care of that because that's much closer to us, so that will be fine. I need to bring this darker color down. Come over here. This is a little darker. Start with this. Again, I need to come right down. I'm painting around my tree. I'm going to come right down and meet my roof line on this back side. I grabbed some of this stronger paint, bring it up here with a little bit of extra water to lighten it up. Right about here, let's get a bigger tree. Now that kind of diffuses out because I did missed it. So, but it's not too much. Careful, paint around my chimney. Right to that roof line. There we go. And I need to soften that color out, kind of pull that so it's not so dark. I have this lighter value. All I have to do is kind of go right up into the tops, right? Make more trees with that, just from what I pulled out of there. Drop a little bit more in, just kind of bring that up. There we go. Another one right here. Lighter value, setting it back behind this guy. Well, we're almost there. Almost there. If it runs a little bit late, I will finish this one today. You will see this from start to finish. Hopefully we won't run too far beyond our normal. I said stick with me. We are going to be having something special going on here before we're finished. You need a little bit darker there. So we're just going to bring this, which this should be damp, so you shouldn't have to worry about any hard lines. This is still wet. Let's come right up that roof line. I'll come right around my chimney. There we go. Fill that space in. And with just what's left on my brush, let's go ahead, put a couple more treetops back there. Maybe one in here. No, I haven't seen Rob yet either. I did talk to him not long before the stream. I thought we would have seen him. Maybe he's lurking. Maybe he's watching while he's doing other things. No telling. Could be. Hello, Rob, if you're out there. You're being missed in chat. I'm just darkening this one up. Just a little bit here and there. This is going to spread. You see how everything's wet, so it is going to diffuse out, but I just wanted one that was a little bit darker. I thought this was a little light. I really want this to pop this stuff in front. So I really want to make this darker and push it back. Even this one. Put some a little bit more darker values in that part of that tree. There we go. Look at that. I think we just need to darken up right here, just slightly. Just dip just the tip of my brush in my water. Although in the reference photo, if we were trying to be like that, which again, similar, not exact, is our goal. There's actually no trees right there. Just kind of is like misty haze through that space. And the way I just pulled that down, and make sure I come all the way to my roof line. And there we go. Yeah, I definitely want this to look like this cabin is deep in the woods. There we are. All right. Our background is done. With the exception of that one little tree. I forgot, right? We need to put something right there. Oh, there he is. Hi, Rob. Other Tara said, which color is that? So I don't have pigment information. Tara, I don't have pigment information for this set of meet-in paints. And so I can't tell you exactly what color, but if I were to be a guessing person here, wait a minute, let me just get those, just pop that in there. I want that to be further away, so just again, quick blot with that tissue, and just like that, the tree runs away. And there we go. So if I had to guess, I would say that the dark blue looks almost like a phthalo blue red shade. And I was mixing that with a tiny bit of ultramarine and their black. So I hope, and that's how I got that color. So I hope that helps. Okay. Again, this is background. I'm not going to worry about this too much. I did say I was going to want to come back in here and drop a few more darks in some places. I will catch what's going on in the chat here in just a moment. Just work my way kind of up this tree. All right, good enough. Good enough. Again, this tree isn't even one of our focal points, right? So we don't need to fuss too much back there. All right. Now, can we do this foreground in this amount of time? I don't know, but we sure are going to try. We are going to try. Okay, let me just check in with chat really quickly. Thank you so much to Rob Younts, who has just gifted 10 memberships to the channel. If you have received or are notified that you got a membership, you now have access to the Discord server. And I am just popping everybody up here. The Discord is a great benefit that you get as part of this membership, and you will have that for a month, unless you choose to continue your membership. And you get lots of behind the scenes stuff there. Lots of stuff going on behind the scenes. I'm most active over there. I usually put everything out on Discord first. Actually, I think today I forgot to post the link to today's stream, but normally you get everything first over there on Discord. So yeah, if you've received a membership and you use Discord, I hope that you will join the server. Usually you have to have your YouTube account connected over on Discord, and that's in your user settings that you do that. And as long as you have that done, you should have our server available to you. It has the same signature logo that you see that I have here on YouTube. That's on my server as well. So the not painting, Dolphin Soul is not painting along, but we'll be attempting it later, hopefully. I hope you do. I hope that this comes out wonderful. All right, we're gonna have to jump around now. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to start by painting the yellow in my windows. We're going to put the light in our windows, and then that yellow is also going to help give me some of the color for the snow, because our light is spilling out onto our snow here. So we're going to get the yellow parts painted first. Right now, over on Patreon, I have a 7-day free trial of my studio member tier, if that is something that interests you. We have, I'm grabbing the permanent yellow. This is a warm yellow. we have our monthly Zoom hangout tomorrow. So if you were to grab yourself one of those free memberships, you would be eligible to join us. We're all kind of doing our own thing where we're all kind of painting Christmas cards tomorrow. I will have one that is available for you to follow along during that Zoom. If that is something that you want to paint. But we'll hang out and chat, and it's a great time or a great place to be able to ask questions. I know last time I'm warming this up just slightly. I'm grabbing, this is called Light Tangelo. It looks like it's going to have a little PW6 in it, but I just want to warm this yellow up even more for in my windows. Okay, anyways, yeah, last time we had it, I know Dolphin Soul had a question, and it was a great time. I was able to just grab a piece of paper and demonstrate for her and show her how to work through what she was asking how to do. So if that is something that you would find helpful, then maybe a studio membership would be right for you. And we would love to have you join us. Right now, I am just wetting the areas where I'm going to put this yellow paint in my upper windows. Now let that get wet. I am also going to, I'm just tipping just the tip of my brush in the water. I'm also going to wet these windows. Because I want to paint these wet and wet, but I want my paper, I don't want my paper to be like puddled with water here. I want to give it a little bit of time to absorb. I'm going to paint this window back here too. Oh, I forgot to, I'm not painting the window. That's why I'm painting beside the window. We'll paint that one last. Give that outside time to dry. There, wetting my actual inside my window now. My goodness. Okay. There we go. And I'm actually going to wet a little bit right down here because I'm going to need some of this yellow color underneath here. Okay. I shared in the beginning, Wildflower, that I am painting on the Meeden cotton block today. But you can absolutely paint this. These cards that I use that are linked in the description below are the exact same size as this block that I'm painting on. And you could paint this directly on a card. We were turning this winter scene and showing how we can change this so that it could become a Christmas card. That's what we're doing today. All right, so now we are going to drop in this yellow. I'm just tapping the tip of my brush, the outer area where this is wet. This is going to dry lighter. I may have to come back and put that in a little bit darker, but wow, isn't that nice? And the lights are on. There we go. We're going to put some in this window. Look at that. And we need to bring, I'm going to bring some of this light through here. Now on our cabin, the highlights, right? The highlights on our wood art, the highlights are very similar in color. Wow, words would not come out. So I'm just going to go through and put a little bit of this yellow on here. It might look a little weird at the moment, but a little bit on my door there. Oh, and I didn't paint in the center of my wreath. We're going to see through. See the lights on in there. There we go. All right, we have some light. We have some light. Yes. Were you answering a question from Virginia McKenzie, Rob? Did I miss it? I'm scrolling to. I am not seeing it, but I see that Rob was saying we have Zoom meetings. Yeah, we have Zoom meetings. So the studio tier, we get together on Zoom every third Friday of every month. And for the I'm switching to my size 10 round. And for the creator tier gives you access to all of the videos that I put out on that are just for patrons or members. And the creator tier also has Zoom. They get Zoom once a quarter. And those months are December, March, June, September, and December every year. I'm just getting my foreground wet here because I am going to want to do this. Right here, there's a line. This needs to be a very light version. I should have painted that in when I was doing all of those blues, but that's fine. Okay, so I just kind of made that damp. Now I'm going to take the same yellow, but I want it really lighter. I am grabbing water and I'm diluting this. And this part of this palette is just wanting to beat up, which drives me crazy. All right, and we're going to come in here and we're going to put the highlights on our snow. Our snow is not stark white. It's picking up that light from coming from our house. All right, so we're going to put a little bit through here. And we're gonna need this. I'm doing this right now because we need that to dry before we can come back. We need it to completely dry before we can come back and put in our shadow colors. Okay, and another thing that I need to do is we can switch over while this is drying. Again, really watering down some of this yellow. And let's even, I'll do it after. We're just going to pick up a little bit these areas where there's going to be snow on this side of the tree. I am putting some of this yellow underneath. As it works its way around, this part becomes in shadow, so we won't bring that all the way over. Just those right there. Okay. That has to dry. Again, on this side, these trees are going to pick up some of that. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of that in right there. And a little bit, just hitting the left side where I have the white space. I'm going to come in and negatively paint around that. And this one too has just a little bit. Okay. This one back here too, because the light, I'm guessing from, you know, the other part of our cabin, we're going to put a little bit of that yellow over here. Very, very faint. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we Zoom at 2 p.m. We start at 2 p.m. Eastern time. But we go from 2 to 5. So there's a 3-hour window that you can pop into Zoom and hang out and see what's going on in the studio and stuff like that. So there you go. All right. Oh, we did that yeah, we did pigment bingo once before. That was fun. I had a lot of fun with that. All right. We can continue on with our cabin. Let's work on some of the brown parts of our cabin and see how much of this we can quickly pull together. And I haven't forgotten, I promised you guys there's something special happening today. I'm using burnt umber. Yeah, let's take that burnt umber. When I do this side, we are going to take this burnt umber and we're going to bring a little bit of blue into that and cool that right down. But on the front of the building, we're just going to use our burnt umber. So let's go ahead and put in just starting with some of these lines, being conscious of where my railing is at. And wherever I put it there, I'm going to continue it. Bring this. This is like some of my darkest values. Bring that right up under my roof. Okay, I'm going to turn that down. And I am leaving a little bit of the edge here in between unpainted. All right, there's our snow that's on the roof. Let's grab a little bit of, that says dark ochre. What does that look like? Sure, this says dark ochre. Almost like a burnt sienna. It's very similar. All right, and that's what I'm going to use now. I just painted right over a little portion. I have to be careful. I almost missed I have a red bow here. I almost didn't leave out the space to paint my red bow. There we go. It's a little bit darker, so I'm going to kind of blend these two together. kind of dropping that wet and wet right there. The uprights for the window. And you can see that yellow has already dried. It's really, really light. I'm definitely going to want to come back with some darker values in there before I'm done. I don't want everything else to be dry because I'm going to want to re-wet the space and then drop in some darker values along some of my edges so that they can, sorry if that bothers you, I have to be able to move that to get all my lines in there. Just a little bit darker right here. And you see I've left that little space right there. This, I'm going to have lines going the other way, right? Because that comes out to the eave. Those are the boards for the roof. So those are going to be slightly different. Let's paint around our windows, get our window sashes in. I'm going to switch up. I'm still using my 4 long round. I'm going to switch it up. I got my size 2. Right? We're going to start getting into some of the details around these windows. I'm going to want a little bit smaller brush. Feels like my snow in the foreground has dried pretty well. We'll be able to jump right back to that. All right, I'm going to do my sashes here, right? Little marks in my window. Same for the other side. Okay, let me, I promise you guys, I was doing something crazy today. So let's talk about that so we can get that started, because I do want to make sure I take care of that before the time we're normally done streaming. This is going to carry over a little bit today. My apologies, but I hope you're enjoying it. Right here we have, this is supposed to be like the round, right, like the logs. There we go. Oh, look at that. It already looks like the lights are on. It is warm and inviting. While I have this on my brush, we're going to quickly drop in the posts, right, that go with our rails here. And I just need to take a quick peek so I don't start at the wrong spot. This can't even be darker. I'm grabbing a little black. And usually I don't mix. I paint with such a small brush. Yeah, there we go. I want that really darker. Okay. I know I started saying something to you guys and then I switched gears. I'm keeping you in suspense. It was a little larger than I wanted it. Just rinsing out that brush. I pressed a little heavy right there. Good enough. It's fine. It's going to be fine. I'm not worried about that. Put in our steps. They're going to be covered with snow. Nobody has gone out to shovel recently. Our steps are covered. And there we go. Okay. Let me pause for just a moment because clearly I can't paint and talk at the same time. Not when it's not about the painting. All right. So. Oh, thank you. Okay. Are you guys surprised that I'm using that small of a brush? Right? I don't usually grab that small of a brush. All right. Here we go. I need to switch up to this scene. Yes? No. Bear with me. Bear with me. Okay, it is this one. We're here. All right. Are you ready? Today, for one of you who is watching live, if you're watching this on the replay, I'm sorry, this is already done. This is one of the benefits of joining me live. We're going to be having some random surprises like this. Now, I could have put that in the title, lured you all in with it on my thumbnail. And then, of course, everybody that comes is coming just for that. So I'm doing a giveaway today. And let's kick off the holiday season. We are using all meat and stuff today. So I'm going to be giving away a $50 Meeden gift card. Now this is the US dollar card. So unfortunately, I'm sorry, it's only for those of you who are in the US, as that is what I can get my hands on. What I need you to do, again, only if you're watching and you're here with us live, because if you're watching this on the replay, if it is not 4:45 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, November 14th, you do not need to put anything in the comments because this is done and it has been given away. But if you are here on Thursday, November 14th at 4:45 p.m., all I need you to do is in the comments, I need you to say, enter me and your state. No more personal information than that. Enter me and your state. And you can just do an abbreviation, right? ME is Maine. Whatever your state abbreviation is. So just enter me and your state. And of course, we are going to use the wheel of names. So I will be entering your name onto this wheel. I will be entering your name onto the wheel, and in about 15 minutes, we will be drawing for a winner. So let me go ahead as I am seeing some of your names come through. Oh, I need to slow this down so I can't miss any of you. Okay. I'm just checking the chat to make sure. Now, with this gift card, you could choose to get the 96 set of paint that we are working with today. Or they do have one that is smaller, if you prefer the smaller set. The smaller set only has 48 colors in it. Some are metallic, some are the Macron colors, and then of course some are the normal colors. With the 96 set, you have 48 of the normal colors, 6 neons, 12 Macron colors, and then the rest are metallics. So this gift card will cover this set that we are using today if you should choose. And of course, don't forget, code Clark10 at checkout is going to get you a discount and help your gift card go further. So when I email you your gift card, it is going to include, of course, my link to Meetin and the discount code so that you can take full advantage and maximize your winnings. Okay. So I have, if my keyboard would work, we have Andrea. Then we have, yeah, it's for US only. I have D-Lynn. I'm just going to put D-Lynn. I'm not going to put Creative Arts. We know it is D-Lynn Creative Arts. We have Missy. And I'm just going to put from Missouri so that we know, because, you know, just in case. We have W.A. Castle. Boo Peep. So another thing that you could choose to get is some of the paper. I absolutely recommend. I love their watercolor paper. Celia, yeah, sorry, Norway, yep. Virginia Mackenzie. Whoop. Forgot the E. Wildflower. George. Oh, hello, Stephanie, and thank you for joining us. And that would be our very own Rob Younts that you have to thank for that. Okay, I'm going to turn the wheel of names off for right now. Okay, everybody's still going to be in there. You will see it just like that. You can still enter if you haven't done so, as long as you are a U.S. resident. You just need to type enter me and your state. Just the abbreviation will be fine, of, you know, the state abbreviation. And in about 10 minutes, I will double check to see if there are any more names being entered, and then we will spin to win, and we will finish our painting. Okay, so for now, let's get back to our painting. Okay. I need to mist this now because my palette has dried while we have done that. I see you, Dolphin Soul. Okay. And I'm just going to take our little gift card here and just shrink that down so it'll stay in the corner, but we'll keep working. Okay. So, painting our cabin. And we have some uprights here. We have our railing. Sure, there's not railing there, right? Because we're coming downstairs here. Let's bring this down. I will probably put some snow on top of that. Bring this one down. Now this is one that if I was going to do as a Christmas card, because there's so much involved in painting this, I mean, if I was making a very special card for a special someone where, you know, I was only making one, I might paint it one time. If I was going to, if I wanted to send this as my annual Christmas card, then what I would probably do is I would paint it once, scan it, and then I would probably print it, versus hand painting every single card. All right, there is snow on our porch. Thank you, Missy. All right, now I need to paint in my door. Maybe a little bit darker. Some darker values in here. All right, this is where the snow is on my porch. And that will stand out a little bit more once I paint in my door. I'm pulling up because I want to leave a little bit of what looks like snow on my railing. So I'm just pulling up from that point, because if I pull down, where you lift your brush, you tend to deposit color. And I don't want to deposit extra color right there. There we go. All right. I hear you, Dylan, and I agree. Dylan says, I hope we get a lot of snow this year. I know not everybody loves snow. I love snow. Again, we have a winter weather advisory for tomorrow morning here where I'm at. So you will find out live in the Zoom if you're a studio member hanging out with me tomorrow. If it snowed, if you are a channel member or patron that is in the community tier, we have a live text chat that happens every Friday morning. And I'm sure you'll hear there first. Oh, look at that. All right. we're getting more glow. I like it. Now remember down this side, oh, first, getting ahead of myself. Before we can move down that side, we need to get these boards painted in. This is like our eave space under our roof, so we're changing the direction of our brush strokes. So yeah, we're definitely going to be running late, and my apologies. I'm trying to hurry, but yet at the same time, trying not to rush too much. There we go. Darkening a little bit of this up that was like a little light. Remember I painted that yellow on there. It's still going to show through. This is pretty transparent. So it's going to work like a highlight, but it's not going to be the same bright yellow that's coming from my windows. All right. Excellent. Okay. Now, grabbing my size 6 again, because that little brush, goodness. And I told you I was going to take that burnt umber when we do this side here, and I'm going to grab a little bit of ultramarine, and we're going to really cool this brown down. Right? Because this is the shadow side. Really want to cool that off. In fact, I want some that's really leaning towards blue, because my highlights are going to be almost like a light blue. So we're going to just go with that. We're going to start by painting this through. This is more blue. It's too dark. Okay. I'm going to grab some of this blue that's up here. Oh, that's green. I got to get rid of this corner. It has yellow in it. That'll make green. Some of the blue from my sky. And let's just start by putting that in here, because any of the highlight area on my logs over here, I want to look kind of blue. There we go. And again, if I want anything to be a little lighter, just put tissue on it and rub over that and lift. That's fine. Now, let me just double check. Last chance to enter. If you want to enter for the gift card that you see on your screen. If you are a US resident, in the live chat, again, only if you're watching this at 5 p.m. November 14th, while we are live, enter in the live chat, not in the comments, in the live chat, enter me and your state abbreviation. So I'm just going to do a quick search for enter me, and that's going to make sure I see everybody who has followed those instructions and make sure that my list corresponds and I haven't missed anybody. Okay, I don't see any new additions. So what I have on the screen, let's get the wheel of names back up. I am going to, let's see if we can make this bigger so that you guys can see that a little better. All right, I'm going to make it bigger and pop that back up there in the corner. right where the little gray arrow is, you want to see your name fall on that gray arrow. So we are going to shuffle up our names here. And then we are going to give a spin. I have not seen anybody else pop in, so we are closing it there. You ready? I've got one. Just in time. I tried to hold on because I know there's a little bit of a delay between when I say something, you hear me, and then I see your responses back. So one mule kicker, I've got you. All right, again, we're just gonna give those names a shuffle. And here we go. Good luck. All right, Wildflower. Congratulations, Wildflower. I have Wildflower, I have you on I have a connection with you on Discord. So I will just reach out to you through Discord messages and I will send you all of the information. So congratulations to Wildflower. You have won our giveaway today. So there we go. All right. Oh, now I can clear this so I can see all of the chat again. And I have to get back to, there we go. Okay. So Wildflower, you can choose to get the paints that we're using today, or maybe some meat and paper, or maybe both. Whatever you would like, but you have a $50 meeting gift card coming to you. Happy holidays. And I can tell you, make sure you stay tuned and join us for the live streams. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You are going to want to be subscribed. That is the only way that you can drop a chat and talk with me while I'm streaming. But between now and Christmas, this will not be the last thing that we give away. I have some special things coming for you. So I hope you will tune in every Thursday and hang out with us while we are streaming. But yeah, today we're gonna be a little bit late, but I appreciate you guys sticking with me. I definitely want to get this finished today. I don't want to continue it next week, and I think we're close. I don't think it's going to take that long to wrap this up. Our cabin is almost done. We got to add a little bit of green to this tree here and a couple over here. Put our shadows on our snow. Those should paint up quickly. Like, I know I could do another whole session on this, but I think it would be fun just to get it finished. All right, again, I'm gonna, right here, I'm just kind of making rounded strokes, like it's the end of the log, where the logs kind of chink together. There we go. And we need to, can you get a Clark Fine Art mug? You can. In fact, if you're watching this, there should be shop items right below. There should be there should be items that you can shop from right below your screen. And I do have Clark Fine Art mugs. I have ones that have paintings on them. I have logo mugs. I need to create another one. I need to design some new merch. This is just a darker value. I'm just kind of going around like circles on the logs, putting in a little bit of darker value on some of these lines. Now I need a lighter part because in my window, that's going to be lit up. Oh, you're welcome, Wildflower. So if you missed it, I said I will contact you. I'll message you through Discord. And I will send you the link, your gift card. And of course, you know, if you use code Clark10, whatever you choose to purchase with your gift card, you can get at a discount. There we go. Let's get those windows fixed inside here. So rinsing my brush, I'm going back to my size 2. I'm going to wet just in this space where my yellow was. I'm going to grab, this says yellow orange. Yep, I'm going to grab that yellow orange. And I'm just going to put a little bit, I'm just dabbing some spots, right? Just so we have some variation in the color that's in there. I'm going to put it up here. Okay, I need to do the same thing on my other windows. Oh, that's excellent. That is another wonderful thing that you can get from Meeden. Meeden has some amazing porcelain palettes. They have some plastic palettes, like my 33 well palette that you guys have seen me. I put my Mission Gold paint by Magello. That was in there. Ooh, look at that. That just warmed that right up. And same with this one. All right, we need some. There we go. Love it. I love it. Okay, let's paint that chimney because I need that to dry so I can do the snow on the roof because that is going to be different color. And we're just going to take this chimney and we're going to make it that same dark color I was just using over here. There we go. Up here near the top, I'm going to shift. I'm going to grab a little bit of that lighter brown. That 33 well palette. Yeah, Rob, that's the one I was just talking about. Oh, and that round 33 one, one mule kicker that you are talking about, that is a big palette. I have another one that's actually a rectangular. I'm going to be sharing that with you guys very soon. If not next live stream, it'll probably be the stream after that. If I have the opportunity to do it. Now that's just to see, that just made our chimney just a little bit lighter at the top. And it kind of looks like we have some snow on it. I think I want to fix that. That needs a little bit more of that blue. So I'm just going to come over here, grab a little bit of this blue that we were working on up in our sky there. We're just going to touch that in. Yeah, so that looks like we have snow. I may have to come back with some bleed-proof white right there, but it's fine. Okay. Let's get this light. We have to get our I almost put that right on my paper. We have to paint in our greenery here for Christmas that we have going on there. This is missing. I missed a little bit on the wall of our cabin here. There we go. There we go. Oh, that's coming out so good. All right. Back here, we needed a lighter. This needs to be a very light version of that. So just taking, let's just take what we have up here. This was from when we were working all this area. So it shows almost like if we were doing our snow, if we did this like a warmer blue, this would very much be like a nice lavender. But I'm going to just take that color that we had before. I'm just going to pull that through. And since I did that, you know what? I'm going to use that. This is going to become my shadow color from my snow. So let's get some of those shadows painted in. Just using this. And this brush is really too small for this. Going back to my size 4 round. You know what else we're going to do? Because I want this to be soft. Right? Snow is soft. So we are going to, because this is completely dry, and you would want your yellow to be completely dry. We're going to come back in and we are going to just wet this surface again. Oh, I dropped a drop of water right there. We're going to wet this surface. We're not brushing too much. We don't want to reactivate and start moving around that yellow because we're about to work with some blue. We don't want to make green snow. Nobody wants green snow. I'm going to bring in a little bit of ultramarine blue. It is cooler. That had some, whatever I mixed in with it, probably some of that brown on top of it. It's fine, but that's what I'm using right there. We're going to really get that dilute. All right. And we're just going to make some quick, right, swoops in here. Get some contrast going. Right over here, leading up to our trees. Definitely up here, we're going to have some shadow from our cabin. I'm going to go over this snow again because this is much warmer. So we're just going to go over that again. There we go. With this being nice and wet, it is going to, remember, our watercolor is going to dry lighter. Sorry. It's going to dry lighter than what we're applying it. And let's get there's a mound of snow coming through here. There we go. And just like that, we have like little snow drifts and stuff. There we go. Okay, so that's what I was just saying, Rob. So where we have it's a great question. Rob asked, how do you keep from getting green where the blue and the yellow overlap? So my yellow that I put down here was, if you remember, it was a very, very watered down version of that yellow. I mixed it over here and I had a lot of water, little pigment in it. I let it completely dry. So that's a base layer. Now when I come back and I re-wet it, when I mix up the color that's going to go on top, this color that I'm putting in on top is going to have more pigment than that first layer did. And as I come through, I'm not doing a lot of brush strokes, right? That's just going right on top. You might get some glow from that yellow come through, but as long as I keep my mixture stronger, I am not getting green. So I hope that helps. I'm just gonna lighten up a tiny bit of that. Okay, we're gonna use this same right here, and I'm gonna come through and put some of this out here, because remember, this side of my tree, this is in the shadow. So any of my clumps of snow that are over here are in shadow. We're gonna quickly, hopefully quickly paint this tree. I'll get a little overlap here where it goes from that yellow. Okay, so we kind of round the tree. Pull this right in here. Fall snow. And same with this one. I'm going to put this on that back side. Kind of pull some of that through, overlapping a little bit as we transition the middle. There we go. Oh, thank you for sharing that, CJ Kirby. And of course, anytime, if you're gifted a membership and you have been enjoying hanging out with us over on Discord and any of your other perks, you can choose to keep those going. You simply click the join button or visit the channel here and click memberships, and you can keep your membership going. All right, I need more of that ultramarine blue, which is very, very warm, almost lavender in this set. Is that more purple? Great. And we're just watering that down because I want a very dilute version of that. And again, I'm going to put some on the, I'm going to put this blue in over here. Just dab that out. I'm going to come back with, we're going to paint the trees in. We're going to add some of the darks, right? We're missing the darks right now. We will add that in a moment. So right now you see I have one part of the tree that's very much like that ultramarine, and then the other part facing the house is all illuminated. Same thing here. We need to get some snow on our roof. So let's take this same shadowy snow color we've been using, and let's get that snow up here. Fill that in. Right around my chimney, I want to make that darker. So I am going to, I'm actually going to grab a little bit of this. Let's try that. And I'm just going to drop that in right there around my chimney. There we go. Yeah, phthalo, green, and magenta. They do make it. They will make it purple. No, you can also get, if you mix cadmium red feral kitten. Try mixing like a PG50 or like a PG36, like that turquoise. Mix that with your PV19, your magenta. You're going to come up with a beautiful purple with that green as well. Oh, Boo Peep started that one. Yeah. Yeah. That was the one I just shared. That was what I was talking about. That's a mix. We actually, you can find that video here on the channel. We did that in a mix. All right, I'm going to take this same, because again, well, no, the snow that's on the front of the house here, this needs to be warm. We need to take some of that yellow that I used, trying to get it pretty dilute. And let's just passing that through where my snow is, because we definitely right here on the deck. That's going to be kind of lit up yellow. Warm some of that up. It looks like I missed. I should have carried my steps where I made these lines. Should have carried over. Right? Because it would have gone beyond the rail. I would have to do that when that dries. It's fine. Okay. Let's add our greenery. This is, I'm going for, what is this black green? Let's see what that black green looks like. Ooh, yay. It's like purling green. Yes. Look at that. That black green. Love it. We're going to take some of that. We are going to take some of this deep moss green. Not much of that. We're going to take, let's see, that deep green. No, not a fan. The olive green. Yes. Okay. We're going to take some of those. Welcome back, Wildflower. Oh, we're so glad that you're going to be back with us. That is exciting. You're already on Discord, so the YouTube bot is usually really quick. Before long, you should see the server, and you should be able to click on it and just join. Okay, so we are going to wet this wreath. We're going to paint this wreath really fast. We're just going to wet the space for the wreath. And same thing, these little swags, we're going to wet our space. I'm being careful not to wet where my bows are going to be. Just wetting that. I am going to grab some of my olive green. I'm just going to tap that in. Look at that, just traveling right along there. Same thing up here on my wreath. This is going to have to dry for a little bit. This is really wet. All right, so that's going to have to dry. Not completely, because I'm going to come back and drop in some of the purling green just to give it some dimension. But I need that to be dry. All right. We need this tree to be dark. And we were working with those blues. Let's just grab our, this will be fun. I'm grabbing that, I'm calling it purling green. They call it dark green. I'm just going to come over here where I had the dark blue from my trees before. I'm going to pop that purling green right there. I'm going to grab some black because I want it even darker. There we go. And any blue that I'm picking up from stuff that was already there is fine. This set does have metallics. Yes, absolutely. All right, you ready? I'm going to start down here just in case I have too much water on my brush. There we go. All right, we're going to start up here. And we're going to fill in some space. work my way down. Put some of these darks in. This is very awkward for me painting a tree this way. I don't normally paint trees this way. I normally paint my tree in really fast and then come back on top of it with snow. So this is not normal for me. I'm going to give it my best shot. Again, it's that negative painting. So far, so good. What do you guys think? I like I like never negatively paint. If you're still here watching, thank you so much for sticking with me. I greatly appreciate you being here. If you were watching on the replay, I do hope you're going to give this a try and paint this one. Definitely tag me. If you are a channel member, we have channels where you can drop your finished paintings into to share with the group. I love to see what you guys are painting. Oh, look at that. That tree is coming to life. I am loving it. Negative painting makes me like a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Like, is it gonna be ruined? Am I gonna completely mess it up? And guys, the answer is no. If I did something and I didn't like it, I would just grab the bleed proof white and come back in and touch it up. And it would all be fine. Right? We definitely don't need to stress. We need to have fun with these. I love that this set has that color. Pearling green is one of my, and I don't know for sure it's pearling green, but it sure as heck looks like it's a PBK 31. Pearling green is actually not a green. It is a black pigment that very much looks green. I love it. That is excellent. Thank you so much. I am so glad you guys are all still sticking with me to see this one finish out. Again, congratulations to Wildflower, who won the Meet-In gift card that I just gave away a little while ago. So again, if you saw any of that giveaway watching on the replay, it is done. It has already been awarded right after the stream. I will reach out to you, Wildflower, with that information. I keep looking up to see, like, on my monitor, like, how, because you get so close, you get so involved in it. It helps to kind of take that step back. Okay. I'm looking, and when I did this, I lined it and I put a lot of the kind of outlined where the snow was. So now I'm trying to kind of come through where I had these marks. To get the green, to get that those darker values in there. Oh, look at that tree. If that isn't a happy little tree. I am loving it. Okay, that's excellent. I might have gone a little overboard right there, but let's quickly do these ones. Just using that same color. I'm just going to come in here. Right, these don't need much. They are way back there. And just like that, boom, we have a happy little tree. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're just going to bring in a few darks. See that? I found that one to be a little easier. And this guy. Are you surprised how quickly these ones are painting up? Because I can tell you I am. Oh. Oh my gosh. I always thought like these doing the negative spaces, it's always so hard. My brain, whatever reason, like my brain is like, nope. I can't see the negative spots. I think I'm getting a little too carried away on that one, but that's okay. And this guy. And see, I'm using my size 6. This is one that I probably could have switched to that size 2, but it's all good. Let's get some darker values in this. This larger one is not as easy, but I'm just reminding myself it is very much in the background. Not to overthink it. I'm just thinking like flicking out like the under parts of branches. There we go. Okay. This here, oh, we can go back to our, and of course this is dry now because I got so caught up in that tree. I got lost in my trees, guys. Hey, Tara. Oh. So just going to once again wet over just my greenery. Make sure that's not too wet. I don't want puddles, just want it damp. Take some of that perling green. I'm just with the very tip of this is my size 2. Right? A size 2 long round. Just dabbing some darker values in there. Let's go to this really dark one over here. You could do little lines and make it look like, branches. That's what wreaths are made out of. Bunch of branches all put together and around. But just by dabbing this and not taking out all of that space, You see, our wreath has some dimension to it now. So that's what we're doing. Rob, we will see you in the studio Zoom tomorrow. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're almost done. I'm about to use the Wink Estella brush here in a moment, because what would be a Christmas card be without some shimmer? All right, we need to put our red bows on, add some sparkle, and this one is done. All right, I want a nice deep red. So this is, let me just clear a spot. It probably would have been fine with that blue undertone if it was there, but so definitely some of these stain your palette. I'm using this size 2 brush, usually not what I would use to mix my color. Let me grab my 6. All right, so we've got some crimson. This says ruby red. Let's see what ruby red looks like. It's still a little bold. This one says garnet red. I haven't cleaned my brush. I'm just going into the next one. There we go. Still not quite. Still not quite. This says black tea. That's what they named this color. See, this is why I tell you guys pigments, because a company can name their color anything they want to. And that actually works. That black tea actually works. So we're going to paint our... Mix those all in there. I'm going to take just a hint. Let me grab that perline, because green is its complement. So there, give us kind of a nice deep red. There we go. All right, now grabbing my size 2, because these bows are small. There we go. It's a big bow on our wreath that's hanging up top. I don't know who climbed up there to hang that, but I would appreciate them. It wouldn't be me, I can tell you that. I don't like heights. Little bow there. We need one in the corner here. The corner of our rail and our stairs going down. And again, it's a basic bow shape. It doesn't have to be perfect. Trust me, whoever's looking at this is going to go, oh, look, there's bows on the railing. Lovely. Right? This one, we don't really see all of the bow. See some of it. Maybe a little piece sticking down there below the railing. Another one over here. And now it's starting to look like Christmas. All right. Now, I don't think I'm going to today, because I really like the focus to be right here. I had talked about you could add some lights to the tree if you wanted to, and you could, you know, put some colors on there and little dots of color and add lights to your tree. I don't think I want to do that. I think I like it kind of just the way that is. We're going to take our Dr. Paige Martin's Bleed Proof White now. As I throw my brush around, let me grab some of this out. I'm going to put it over here. I've got 2 piles, because if I need it to be like, when I put it in over here, I'm going to want that shadowed, right? In the shadow color of the snow. I don't want it like really bright white. And I don't want it completely that was just a tiny bit of that yellow that we had. And anywhere that's right here in front, anywhere that we're going to pop on some snow, we are going to want to have a little bit of that kind of warm yellow color mixed in. Let's bring it down our railing. again down this railing. So it just has a tiny bit, and you can see the difference, right? There's the white right out of the jar, and then there with that yellow. A little bit across here. Really catching some yellow. We got some maybe right here by our windows. Maybe there's some sitting along the top edge of our door. And I'll put some across where the windows are. Why not? So if I'm going to do it there, maybe it's also catching up here. There we go. Now we're starting to feel snowed in. How about, right, I said that this was a log house. Maybe ends of some of these logs that stick out. Perhaps we're seeing some snow setting on those as well. Okay, now I'm rinsing that out because I used ultramarine blue. There we go. I'm just kind of matching what I see in my shadow color. Now I can kind of come through here and pop some of that. Maybe take a little bit of that away. And to kind of keep that going, I'm just going to put that through. I just pulled that out into the shadow that's being cast from our tree because the light is over here at our cabin. And anywhere that I need a little bit more, I can bring that in. And it's a little lighter than the blue color I had here. So perhaps I can use that going over a little bit of this yellow to kind of ease that transition as it goes from light to dark. Oh my goodness. I love it. Okay. My Wink of Stella 2 brush. This is, I love this brush. So it's a brush tip. It's like a nylon brush. And, oh, let me just double check. Grab a piece of scrap paper. I don't know what I was going over before, just to make sure I didn't have any color in it, because I looked like I had a little bit of yellow on my hand. But there, see the sparkles? It is going to add a little bit of shimmer, and we're going to just kind of bring this in where I have that yellow from, you know, supposed to be the light from the house reflecting in the snow. We are going to bring a little bit of this shimmer over that area. And perhaps on the side of our tree, where we have the lights catching, and why not catch it on the railing? Up here, the snow that is on our deck. Maybe a little bit on the stairs. It's easy to get carried away. Oh, I think that's perfect. I'm gonna catch a little bit up here because remember I said I put snow up there. There we go. Oh, excellent. Let's just catch the edge. Oh my gosh, I love that. I will show you. All right, so if we can get it, let's see if we can get the sparkles to show up. They are so, I gotta tell you, they are, can you see them sparkling? It is, that Wink of Stella brush is my absolute favorite because it is not like you are putting glitter on your card that is going to keep gifting them the gift of glitter for the next 6 months. This stays put. It doesn't come off. The chimney, it could need some smoke. If you wanted to add some smoke, you sure could. How would I do the smoke? I would take my number 2 round. I just diluted that Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White that had the that blue in it. And let's just go ahead. Dab that on there. Tap it. There we go. How about that? You guys like it? If you liked it before the snow, you're like, oh no, I don't. It's ruined now. I don't add snow to. I don't add smoke coming out of your chimney. It's okay. There we go. Good enough. And we did have right here, right? Snow on top of our edge, which I don't see how we'd have snow sitting there if we have a fire going. It would probably melt it, but that's fine. Okay, guess what's left? I have to sign it, and I'm going to sign, I think, right over here. I don't want to detract and draw the eye this way, so I'm going to sign right here. This is, do I have a smaller? I like to, that one's a little thick. This one doesn't want to write. It's fine. Just be very careful. There we go. There we go. So this, like I said, it is one that takes a bit longer. If I want Christmas cards from this, what I would most likely do is scan this and then print them and then come back with my Wink of Stella brush and still add my sparkles. And then they would just be on cardstock versus watercolor paper. So that is something that I may very well consider doing with these. My chimney got a little light there. I don't know. I probably just touched it with water. There we go. That's fine. But there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And yeah, Tara says, hey Lou, what's for dinner? I'm starved. Okay. I hope you will come back and join me again. We're live pretty much every Thursday. I won't be live on Thanksgiving, but I am working on something special for you. So if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I may still have something for you to do. Look at that. There we go. What do you guys think? I'm wishing the shimmer would pick up a little bit more because it's amazing. You can see it right there, the sparkle right here when I tip like that. And you have just a hint of that throughout this section. I'm glad that I took the light out of the sky because now all that focus is kind of right here and I'm enjoying that. So I hope you've enjoyed that one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and sticking around to the end. Again, congratulations to Wildflower who won our giveaway. I'm going to have some more of those between now and Christmas, so I hope you will keep coming back and joining me. Thank you very much to patrons and members. I greatly appreciate you. Our moderators, check out their channels, Tara and Joseph. They are both here on YouTube. That was a lot. I hope you enjoyed that. Look at, let's just take one more look. That's showing it a little darker. There we go. That's a little bit more. I can get it to go right, but there you go. I like that. I think that would make a great Christmas card. All right. I hope you enjoyed the little tips along the way and found that useful. And if you paint this, please do tag me. Until next time, my friends, I'm gonna pop a video up right about there that you might like to watch next if you're watching this on the replay. And until next time, keep creating, and I'll see you in a video real soon. Bye, guys.